Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 348, Snotgirl, Volume 1, Green Hair, Don't Care, by Brian Lee O'Malley and Leslie Hung. My name is Eric.
And I am Jason.
Hello, Jason.
What's up, buddy?
Not much.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. I've got a belly full of hothead burrito.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
For some reason it was tasty. I think it was the Doritos because I hate their chips.
Yeah.
Their chips are the worst.
It's like the cheapest, saltiest crap.
It's so salty.
Yeah.
And so I went across the street to Dots Market and got some nacho cheese Doritos.
Yeah.
And just scooped that burrito bowl into my mouth that way.
It's,
It was pretty white trash, but
Yeah.
it did the trick.
What I'll do occasionally is I'll get a burrito bowl from there because their food has no flavor, and I will get a bag of Doritos, nacho cheese, or some spicy type.
Oh yeah,
For a while they had done the taco flavored Doritos.
that would have been perfect.
And I crush those fuckers up, and I pour them on top.
Oh yeah, I like a crunch.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will, I'm poor.
Sure.
I also drive a lot, so I spend a lot of money on gas. So I have speedy rewards at the Speedway gas stations all across this fine nation of ours, and often use them to buy a free cheeseburger from there for lunch when I'm low on funds. And what I like to do, because they are gas station cheeseburgers, I will buy a bag of Doritos and I will load that burger up with Doritos.
Oh, nice.
And eat it like that.
That sounds good.
It is delicious.
If I ate burgers, I might try that.
Yeah.
I might try it on a veggie burger.
You might.
Maybe. I mean, it sounds good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
It is not bad.
Yeah.
Surprisingly goes well with Cool Ranch as well.
Oh. That sounds like a very fashionable lunch. But we're not here to talk about lunch.
Nope, we are here to talk about a comic book.
Comic books called Snotgirls.
Yeah, it's Snotgirl.
Well, I mean, each individual issue would be a Snotgirl.
Well, sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Of which there are 5 collected in a trade
yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this, no matter what my impending review of this comic is, the best thing about this trade is the texture of the cover.
It is nice, isn't it? Like, yeah, all the writing on the cover is like, it looks like some sort of fancy makeup case writing. Like it has that kind of shiny, glittery look to it.
Yeah, it's a little glittery. Yeah, it's got but it's got a nice texture to it.
It does, yeah.
I'm a very tactile guy.
Uh-huh.
And this, like literally, I'm probably just going to rub this cover for the rest of the show.
I'm sure that sound is great for the listener. I don't know if it even shows up, but yeah.
Well, let's isolate it.
Oh, okay. No, not really. But it does have a nice touch to it.
Yes, it does.
But yeah, the reason I guess for that, like I'm guessing a lot of people might not be familiar with this because this is not like, I mean, it's Image, but it's not like one of their huge books.
No.
But Snotgirl is, what's her name? Lottie?
Lottie Person.
Lottie Person.
Yeah.
Is she related to Bird Person or Phoenix Person? But she's a fashion blogger.
Yeah.
She has her own line of fashion. So that's why this cover like is mimicking like fashionable glittery things.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, yeah, the cover is kind of like the art is sort of laid out as if it were
a fashion magazine.
I think even the individual covers
Mm-hmm.
are as well. I only have the trade, so this is all I know. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, the covers look very reminiscent of fashion,
right?
I mean, but with a comic book twist.
Yeah, and they are relatively simple. You know, it's not like they're cluttered with words like most fashion magazines are,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, it's a very stripped down thing, and Also, with the scheduling of the book, the issues on the cover mention it's the fall-winter edition.
Right.
Much like a fashion magazine.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I've never really...
Yeah.
I've seen them, I guess. I never...
My mom... My mom owned a hair salon, so...
Right. So you saw some.
I saw a lot of fashion magazines growing up. Yeah.
Snotgirl.
Snotgirl.
So this is a very strange comic.
Yes, it is.
It's, dare I say, unlike any comic I've ever read before.
I would say that is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is totally fair to say that. Not entirely sure what I thought of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I loved it.
Okay.
I read each issue as they came out individually. I borrowed them. The only reason I even... See, this is one of those things where, like, sometimes something weird happens in the universe, and it just puts you on a direction that you wouldn't have been on before.
Sure.
As happens most every week at Mavericks, when we get a shipment of comics in, we get some damaged because Diamond packs things so terribly.
Yeah. They're not good.
They're not great.
Jobs.
No, they're not. Well, the competition's worse though.
Well, sure.
But, so the first issue of Snotgirl came in, a couple of them were damaged.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll take one of these home and read it and then destroy it as you're supposed to do.
Right.
And so, I took it home and read it, and I was surprised at how much I liked it.
Yeah.
Because I'd never read anything by Brian Lee O'Malley. I'd seen the Scott Pilgrim movie.
Sure.
For those of you who don't know, he's the writer of this book, and he wrote Scott Pilgrim.
Andrew Scott Pilgrim.
Andrew Scott.
Yeah.
So I read the first issue, and I was like enamored with it. I was like, this is so not what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Like on the preview thing in Image Plus, it looked like maybe a horror comic.
Really?
Like it was this cover. I know the listener can't see this, but it looks kind of horrific. Like she's standing there with a cigarette hanging over her mouth and snot dripping off her chin, and her eye, she looks like she has a black eye and blood on her shirt.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this might be like some horrific thing.
Right.
You know? But it is not that at all.
No, yeah,
I mean,
that is a very misleading image.
Yeah.
It also almost looks like Tim Sale drew it.
Yeah, it kind of does.
So Brian Lee O'Malley, I read Scott Pilgrim when the movie came out. Like I had no interest in it, I guess,
Right.
as it was coming out. And like my only interest in Scott Pilgrim the movie was that Edgar Wright directed it, because I love Edgar Wright.
Oh, he's great. He's one of the Wright brothers, right?
Yeah.
He is.
He
The
is
first flyer? Or
he was the guy that watched.
the guy on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's because he has a good eye for direction.
He was sitting there, he was drawing the plane,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's old as fuck.
Yeah.
He's still doing comics?
Yep.
Wow.
No, Edgar Wright does not.
Oh, he's not doing comics anymore?
Edgar Wright never did comics. He
Oh.
is a movie director.
Okay. Oh, I thought he was one of the Wright brothers. So this is not Edgar Wright. Brian Lee O'Malley is a different man than Edgar Wright.
Yes.
It's not like a Hollywood pseudonym.
No.
Okay, like
Nope.
Cher or
Yeah.
something. Okay.
Yeah. Brian Lee O'Malley did not take on a different name and then direct Shaun of the Dead. And then spin that off into Scott Pilgrim.
I'm drunk and tired.
Okay. No, yeah, so like, yeah, the only reason I even was interested in Scott Pilgrim the movie is because of Edgar Wright. But even then, my interest was just like, yeah, you know. But our friend Joe G had free passes to it.
Oh, nice.
When it first opened, and asked if I wanted to go, and I said, of course, I like free movies. And holy shit, did I love that movie. And the next day, I went onto Amazon, and they had every volume of Scott Pilgrim for like $1.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So I bought it, and absolutely fell in love with that book. Like, completely. Like from page 1 to, like, the last page of the last volume.
I've seen you play in the video game even.
Yeah.
I've never read it. Never read it. Yeah.
Highly recommended.
I thought the movie was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never read it.
However, because of my interest in Scott Pilgrim, I was like, well, I'll check out what else he's done. I know he did one book, something by Tooth by Sea. Is that the book? Lost at Sea?
Lost.
I don't know. One of us has a smartphone. Could look it up. But,
his other book.
Yeah, his other book. And hated it.
Huh.
Absolutely hated it. I think it was pre-Scott Pilgrim.
Okay.
And then, for whatever reason, I just never checked out his other book that came out a couple years ago. Post-Scott Pilgrim. And then this happened. Snotgirl. And every issue that came out, when I would go into Mavericks, it would have the Jason Young Pick of the Week label underneath it for the most part. Like, maybe there was like a rare week when like Black Hammer came out at the same time.
Right, or Squirrel Girl.
Right, yeah. Well, Derek always gets Squirrel Girl.
I've noticed, sidebar, I don't know if something's changed, but most of the comics I read have the word girl in the title.
Huh.
It's Paper Girls, Snot Girl, Squirrel Girl. I feel like there's even another
Black
one.
Hammer Girl.
Black Hammer Girl. I don't know, maybe that is it.
Batgirl?
No, I don't read Batgirl.
Supergirl?
No.
I know you're a big fan of the TV show.
I've never. I saw the pilot, but yeah, no, maybe it's just those three. But I only read like 6 monthly comics. That's 50% of the books I read have the word girl in the title.
Right.
So it's kind of
that is a little weird.
That is odd, right?
I read most of those same books.
Mm-hmm.
I read all of those same books.
Yeah.
Just some of them in trade form, like Paper Girls.
Right.
Yeah, so I wasn't too sure about this, but Image, they do a neat thing with their first trades.
They're $10. Cheap. Yeah, $10.
Which Vertigo used to do as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they still do or not.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't believe so.
But it makes it. And then every good comic store should have a discount.
Yeah.
And so you get a little cheaper than the $10 in my online shop that I buy it. I think I got this for like $5.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's what we got it for.
Yeah, and it's like, how can you pass that up?
Yeah.
If you're remotely interested in a thing and it's 4 or 5 issues being collected for $5,
right? It's cheaper than a sandwich.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, and then that sandwich gets fucked up.
Yeah, that happens apparently a lot.
So the trade I think came out last month sometime.
I believe so.
I feel like
about a month
this was
ago.
a recent addition into my house.
Mm-hmm.
So we both read it.
We both read it, and it's like, I mean, ostensibly it's about a girl who's a fashion blogger.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of weird characters and strange things happen.
Yeah.
And a lot of it seems to be a sort of meditation on how we are affected and addicted possibly to not only technology, but medications, because a large part of this plays around with her being on medications for her severe allergies.
Yes.
Like, they don't call her Snot Girl just as a nickname. She has violent snot protrusions from her face at different times.
And also, a lot of it is sort of a reflection on how we are perceived in the public eye, especially with social media.
Oh, yeah.
And how we perceive ourselves, or how we want to be perceived.
Right. And how it's not always exactly true.
Right. There's a very specific incident that happens in the last issue of this volume, where a thing happens. We as the reader see the thing happen, but then you read the audience or the crowd reaction to what is happening, and they've seen a completely different thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's all about, like, it centers around Lottie. Is her name Lottie?
Yeah, Lottie.
And she
Lottie Person.
Lottie Person. Is she related to Bird Person? Or Phoenix
Person.
Phoenix Person. But yeah, basically she seems like a terrible person, and it's hard to do a comic where the central character is someone that you just don't like.
Yeah.
But she's going through some crazy stuff, and so you end up kind of rooting for her a little bit.
I don't.
I did a little bit, but I mean, I say a little bit because like she seems very unlikable.
Yeah.
Like I would not be friends with this person, and I don't know that I really want to know her story. But it's more, it's not as much about her and her story as like how is society affecting this person.
Right.
It's more like a horror show of society as like the monster, and her as like the unfortunate aftermath.
Right. I mean, I think that's kind of where I fall on this book as to why I can't figure out my opinion on it yet.
Right.
It's because she is wholly unlikable.
Oh yeah.
But like in the first issue, I felt like I did like her a little bit. Like she was just sympathetic enough and had just enough,
relatability
and humanity to her. But then in subsequent issues, like it's almost as if like they completely changed her character, like from issue 2 on, where she was just a lot more vapid. And
I think she seemed vapid from the start to me.
I mean, she was vapid, but it was
amped up.
It was amped up, and because it's weird. Like I noticed this on the back, like a lot of Image books now, they like have sort of categories that they put their books in.
Yeah, right.
And
it's got like 6 of them.
Yeah, it's contemporary fantasy, romance, fashion, comedy, anxiety, INFP.
What's INFP?
It is a Briggs Myers scale of personality.
Oh, okay.
For instance, I am INTP.
That means really into toilet paper?
Who isn't?
I neglect...
I
no toilet paper? I don't know.
No. It means introversion. Basically, I'm basically super introverted. And so that's what INFP is a form of someone who is an introvert and some other personality things that I can never remember.
Right, yeah. I wasn't sure what that was in reference to on the back. But yeah, she's...
And so, like, a lot of that, like, sort of basically crazy, mental illness, depression, anxiety stuff comes through in the first issue a lot.
Yeah.
And does make her relatable to me, at least. And, like, just, like, there's a scene where, like, basically her friends ditch her, like, for their scheduled lunch.
Right.
And, it's like, oh, I've been there.
There was one scene, too, I guess it was towards the end, where she's, like, basically reaching out and empathizing with a character who's having a bad problem.
Yeah.
And, like, that is, like, Snotgirl's most, like, likable moment in the book.
Yeah.
But she's usually not like that.
No, yeah. And yeah, from that point on, she... from the end of that first issue, I think, like, almost towards the end of the book, like, she is just... Yeah, she's just a vacant,
she is
shallow, horrible person.
But I think that's what I do like about her is... The thing I do like about her is she's so caught up in all this stuff, and she doesn't... You can tell she doesn't quite understand it, especially, how she's supposed to be perceived and what's important. And, that's the thing I can kind of relate to is she seems so caught up in, this confusing society that we have.
Right.
And I can relate to that. Like, I don't, have the same goals or issues that she does, but, but I do kind of empathize.
Are you sure? I mean, I've seen your fashion blog.
You've seen my fashion blog?
Yeah.
BuyerBewareFashion.com. It's called, Wear Beware. But she is like, I do see that sort of element in this world that I live in is, I'm like freaked out by all the social media stuff and all the things that she's wrapped up in, but she's also freaked out about. I'm not wrapped up in, but I'm freaked out about. So I can sort of see that.
As I was wrapping up reading this book, my thoughts kind of turned to the Private Eye a little bit.
Yeah, I totally saw that too. Because it's, I mean, it doesn't say when this is set. It seems like our
I would
time.
say it's our time. I think, because the very last issue is on New Year's Eve, 2017.
Oh, that's right. It is. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, but it is like same kind of deal. Like, who are we and our privacy and our, what we think is important. And,
right. And Lottie gives everybody she knows nicknames because she can't keep them straight without it.
Yeah, right.
So basically,
everybody has a secret identity.
Yeah.
Or a guise.
Right. Yeah. And her friends also seem like not great people.
No. Yeah. But yeah, the characters in this book are really interesting. Like, and it kind of reminds me of like Jim and the Holograms, the cartoon show.
I got that vibe too.
Yeah. But like a kind of slightly
like a
manga version
of Jim and the Holograms.
Like a catty, weird version.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not sure what nationality Leslie Hung is. I'm guessing Asian. But
there's a picture of her in the back.
Oh, is there? It's not the one of a rabbit.
I thought there was.
There's one that's a drawing of a rabbit, but I don't think that's really what she looks like.
I was looking at the single issues earlier.
Okay.
There was a picture of her in the last issue.
But
yes, she and Brian Lee O'Malley are both Asian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Brian Lee O'Malley was like Irish or something.
He's Canadian.
Oh,
so they're all fucking weird.
It's a melting pot up there.
They've embraced diversity.
What? Why? Is it cheaper than building a wall?
Can't be.
No. But like it definitely has. It reminds me a lot of the look of manga, but like a slightly more stylized, not the like house style or whatever that I think of when I think of manga. But it has a real manga influence.
It definitely does. I got kind of an Adam Warren vibe a couple of times.
Okay.
Like not as like hyper cartoony as he does.
Right.
But like Adam Warren's been posting a lot of life drawings that he's been doing lately, like on Instagram and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can still tell that it's him drawing that stuff, but it is like realistic.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. I'd like to see that.
Like, yeah, it is like this super weird mashup between like really cartoony and really realistic. And I think this Leslie Hung's art kind of falls kind of like in the middle of that too. Which I'm just gonna go ahead and say she's great.
Oh yeah, if you're listening, Leslie, I think you did very well, Hung.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. And no, like seriously, not just like the way she draws characters, but there's so many cool layouts to this page where things just lead you from one. Like there's one where there was this arm with a phone. I forget which page it was. I'm just kind of flipping through right now, but it was just really neat, like the way your eyes were led around from panel to panel.
Right.
I can't find it. Oh well, but it's really well designed.
Yeah. It's great sense of storytelling. Like all the characters are distinct looking. Like even the guy characters are like look different from each other.
Like Sonny and the cop. I love the cop, the fashion cop. And then that's not like a fashion police type thing, but it is a fashion police thing. But
sort of.
He's a policeman and he's really into fashion.
Right.
Like his
name is John Cho, the actor who plays Sulu in the new Star Trek.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah.
Because they kept saying like not the famous actor.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who that was.
That is John Cho. And because I'm a totally blatant racist, I immediately thought, isn't that the name of the character from Chew?
No,
it's not.
Tony Chew.
Tony Chew is that guy's
name. One of the letters is the same.
Two of the letters.
Yeah. All right. And one thing they never bring up in this book is her long hair is green.
Yep.
And no one ever mentions it.
Nope.
But it's like snot green.
Yeah.
Like fluorescent slime snot green.
It's like Doc Samson from
yeah, it is. I love that guy's hair.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody ever mentions it. And obviously, it's a take on the old joke, I think, of the, how did you get such beautiful hair?
Oh, yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Although they do show a picture of her from 2011 where her hair is brown.
Brown, that's right, yeah. Because she's got this kind of copycat girl who, like, dresses like she used to and wears her hair like she used to. So, yeah, and there's a lot of, like, things, because, you know, she ends up, like, the start of the book is kind of her getting a new prescription.
Yeah.
And so, all through the book, you know, she's taking her new pills, and, like, a couple times she's not sure she took one, she takes another one.
Right.
And so she's kind of in this constant state of, you know, she's not sure what's really happening or what's real. And so thereby we as a reader aren't sure if certain characters are actually there or whatever. And it's really
specifically
interesting.
one character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, that's
kind of a
something
fight.
I really want to spoil
Right.
either, but
Like, I wonder though, I'm like it doesn't tell you, so we can theorize here.
Sure.
Like, it almost sometimes seems like it's a Fight Club type of thing.
At occasion, yeah.
But then sometimes it doesn't either, because
Like
people mention that character.
People mention her, and then people also interact. Well, not really interact with her, but acknowledge her presence.
That's what I can't remember, is if anyone actually specifically mentions, like, being in the same room with her,
right.
or if they just mention, like, her fashion blog or something.
Right.
So, like, I don't know if she's real or not.
Well, there's the scene where when they're at the engagement party,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy who is getting engaged keeps hitting on Snotgirl.
Ashley,
yeah, and like she and this character who may or may not be real, like, stumble upon him in the bathroom, and he acknowledges
that's
their presence.
true, yeah.
But at the same time, you know,
he doesn't, yeah. But he could have been referencing something else, and it could have been like Three's Company type of confusion moment.
Sure. And also, but then, like, to go back to, you know, not being sure of what is happening.
Yeah.
The very last page of this book.
It's kind of a cliffhanger.
Is the cliffhanger, and it is done in a way that we are not sure what happened.
Yeah, exactly. But not in a, like, well, that's a confusing mess kind of way, but in a
intentionally confusing.
It's a brilliantly done page.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else could have done that way.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah, we're trying not to spoil it,
right,
so sorry if we're being ambiguous,
but
it is the last moment of the book. So.
Yeah, and I'll say this: like, I don't know Leslie Hung. I've never seen her work before this. Like, I've never heard of her before this.
Maybe she doesn't exist.
It's very possible. It could be
Brian Lee O'Malley. Maybe
Brian Lee O'Malley's imagination.
Yeah, how he's, you know, Edgar Wright when he makes movies, and and he's Leslie Hung when he draws comics.
Because, you know, I mean, there's a sketch section in the back, and, you know, sometimes it's hard to tell which sketches were done by him and which were done by her.
Yeah,
so,
see,
you know.
I'm telling you.
But no, like so, yeah. I've never read her work before. I don't know a thing about her, but just her skill to be able to pull off things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, she clearly, whatever she's been doing, she has been
doing it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Which, unfortunately, all adds up to me still not being sure whether I like this book.
Wow, that's odd, isn't it?
Especially,
it is so weird. It's such a strange,
it is a very strange
unique,
yeah. And it's like the things that get focused on more in this book are things that I find myself not caring about, but then, like, occasionally, like, you know,
it comes into play to mean something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, it has that kind of manga-ish feel where there seems like just random crazy cutesy things that don't make any sense.
Right.
But then a lot of it comes into play later.
Yeah. I'm also going to go ahead and say this. Cliffhanger ending, did not care for it.
Oh, really?
I don't like a cliffhanger ending. Well, I do when I'm buying a book month to month.
Yeah.
But when I'm buying a trade paperback, it better have some fucking conclusion to it.
Right.
Like I mean, you lead into the next trade paperback, but I like a little closure.
Right.
Not just, you know, opening more mysteries.
I didn't mind it. And I will say this too. This is one of the very few books that I've read twice, you know? Like, I usually don't read books twice unless it's been years. And I read this monthly as it came out, and then I read the entire thing this morning.
Right.
And, or yesterday morning. No, it was this morning. And I will say, I liked it a lot better reading it in one big chunk.
Yeah.
And I liked it before.
Right.
But yeah, reading it as a big chunk, I think works a lot better.
I mean, I don't know. I just, like, I had this problem with, I think, Revival. Like, I read the issues that were, you know, supposed to comprise of the first trade, and, like, it didn't end.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, come on, you know, for $10, give me at least
Something.
Yeah.
Like, I like when there is kind of an ending and you're like, oh, okay. And then you turn the page and there's another kind of twist.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But at least you have that closure from the other stuff.
Right. And there wasn't that in this.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know. It almost seems kind of that way, though, because, like I said, towards the end, she was maybe becoming a better person or whatever. And you're like,
well, yeah.
but then, like, it gave you this twist ending.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I certainly did not dislike this book at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that, you know.
And I can totally see why you're like, it's hard to nail down because it's so different.
Right.
And I haven't read a ton of manga, so maybe its influence is, you know, not as, like, if it is like a lot of other mangas, maybe it's not as unique as I'm perceiving it.
Right.
But for me, as a mostly American and Canadian comics reader, it's different than most things I've ever read.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the manga influence is definitely here in this book, but I mean, it's still American / Canadian enough, because he is Canadian.
Right.
No idea if Leslie Hung is American or Canadian or not, but you know, it's got enough of the tropes of what we normally read, you know, that I don't think the manga part of it is not as overpowering.
Yeah.
It's mostly just a style.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which is nice because some of the art in manga I find really impressive, but I just can't get into it. I don't know if it's like I just don't get it or
right.
I do hate reading right to left. Fuck, I hate that so much.
Yeah. I've got those 3 volumes of the Bat manga.
Oh yeah.
The Batman 66 manga. And it's kind of a chore.
I don't want to learn to read right to left.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's not like, hey, this is a new exciting thing you should try. It's like, I'm comfortable doing this thing. I don't want to listen to music with my asshole.
Exactly.
I want to listen to it with my ears.
We're almost 40 years old. We have been taught a certain way how to read.
Right.
And you know, fuck you, other cultures.
Yeah, other cultures.
Build that wall.
Yeah. No, I just mean like it's.
No, I get it.
It takes me out of the experience because I'm constantly going, oh, I need to be reading this instead of like it doesn't flow. It's just
it
more
doesn't
like,
flow the way we're used to it flowing.
Yeah. It doesn't flow without me consciously realizing I'm reading a comic book.
I mean, it's work.
Yeah.
To think completely differently than you've been taught your entire life.
And I like doing that in some respects of life, but not while I'm relaxing reading a comic book.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you for making this correct.
But yeah, but you know, Snotgirl, it's a beautiful comic.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely got interesting things going on for sure.
Reasonably priced.
Reasonably priced.
And it's it's Image, so you know your comic shop can probably carry it.
Yeah.
Diamond still has them in stock. I literally ordered one today because I realized we didn't have a copy.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and I didn't just order this. I was making a trade order and I was like, oh, we don't have Snotgirl. Right. And it was in stock today. So
sweet. So yeah, I mean, I did not dislike this. I did not hate it. I just don't know if I liked it enough to continue on with it. But you know, we'll see. Yeah.
So you might say it's not your cup of tea?
It's definitely not right up my alley.
Right.
You know?
I'm sorry it's not.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, on the other hand, you know, I mean, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, if someone would have said, "Hey, you're going to read a comic about fashion bloggers,"
Right? You're like, what's Jason up to now?
let alone me being the one to pick it.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, right? Yeah, like, this doesn't seem like something that really either of us would be attracted to.
Right.
But it's so unique and interesting that it is worth reading for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that it is worth reading.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe find a cheap copy somewhere. Maybe download the Hoopla app and borrow it from a library.
Wow. See? There you go. Might as well.
Yeah. But no, yeah. It's fine. It's very interesting. It's got a lot of good ideas happening. I just don't think I was fully impressed with the execution of the arc of it.
Okay, right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. I guess basically, maybe give me an issue 6 to
Right,
sort of
maybe.
wrap up a couple of things.
What if there is like complete closure at the end of issue 6?
Then I'd be furious.
Right, right? Because they should have put it in the trade.
Yeah.
I loved it. I highly recommend it.
Right.
Yeah.
Snotgirl.
Snotgirl, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's listen to some music.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about coming up.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I see all those riddles in your eyes, making me so sick when I have to leave your side. Your schoolgirl voice is the perfect place to hide your little sacrifices. Oh no, I knew you'd let me go when the first word from your mouth was no. I stayed and played your game until you came around. Today is the day that you locked me out. Oh, you fooled me about 1,000 times, convincing me that I'm just a city rat sneaking around at night. And I'm so lucky that you're the cat to finally take my life. I'm just your sacrifice. Oh no, I knew you'd let me go when the first word from your mouth was no. I stayed and played your game until you came around. Today is the day that you locked me out. Oh no, I knew you'd let me go when the first word from your mouth was no. I stayed and played your game until you came around. Today is the day that you locked me out. Oh no, just look what I've become. An oil stain on a white door, and no water will ever make you clean. No, girl, just take a look at me. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Welcome back to Gutter Trash.
Hey, that's us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what the hell you been up to?
Not Not much. You?
Comicking.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Making comics?
Actually, a little bit, but yeah.
I don't know what else you can mean.
Well, comic conventioning.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I've been to at least 2 since we've...
Yeah.
Is it 2? Yeah, 2 since we've talked.
Yeah.
And so have you?
I've been to 1.
Okay, that's right. Ha! I had twice as many as you did.
Yeah, you did. Well, since I haven't really talked to you since, why don't you tell me something about that one you went to without me?
Oh, yeah. I went to the Small Press Alternative Comic Expo in Columbus, which is known as Space.
Yeah.
Let's see, what did I do there? Sold some comics. Mm-hmm. Not a ton, but I sold some. And bought some comics.
Anything good?
Actually, yeah. I didn't buy
New issue of Come Long?
No! That's only in Canada.
Oh, okay.
They don't let that into America. They build a wall.
Good.
Yeah. I wish there was a new Come Long. That's all I can think about now. No, I didn't buy a single comic the second day of Space.
Okay.
Like, I just sat there and drew and talked to people and whatnot. But the first day, I did buy, like a dozen things. And oddly enough, the thing I liked the most that I bought was a book called Right on Time.
Okay.
And it was like a magazine-sized silent comic, completely done with colored pencils, about a cowboy and his adventures with his horse. Huh. And it was really interesting. Like, it was kind of like Snotgirl. It's like something that I would not usually think of myself reading.
Right.
But it was so odd and interesting that it really stood out. And I forget the names of the people that did it.
We are bad podcasters.
Google cowboy comic. Right on. It's called Right on Time.
At least you remember.
Yeah.
That part. All right.
But I mean, it was nobody I never heard of. The writer of it was there, and he had another guy.
There were no words.
I know. Oh God, that is such a pet peeve of mine. That's happened a few times over the years at Mavericks, where someone is flipping through a comment look, there's hardly any words. Why do they even give the writer any credit? And I'm just how do you think the artist knows what to draw? He told him what to put in the scene. Right. Like the Nuff Said month, did they think that was a writer's strike at Marvel? That blows
Except
my
for
mind.
Grant Morrison, because he cheated.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, spoiler alert, Right on Time, there was a cheat on one of the last few panels.
No.
Yeah, but other than that, it was a silent comic. But the guy had one of his little portfolios on the table, and it was opened, and it was all the original art from it.
Yeah.
Even though the artist wasn't there, at least he wasn't there when I went to the table. But I flipped through it, and I was like, man, this is amazing. And I was like, there's no way that it's going to look this good in the printed comic, because we all know what colored pencils, it's very difficult to scan, but it looked exactly it was amazing.
Wow.
It didn't look like I had lost anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was really well done. So, yeah, maybe check it out if anyone ever sees it.
Right on Time.
Yeah. Wish I could tell you who it was by, or company wise.
Yeah. Is it Right? RIGHT?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. But Time is TYME.
Huh.
Oddly enough.
Weird. Okay.
It's like a steak spice. No, it's with an I.
Okay.
It's like Morse Day style.
Right.
Yeah. But so yeah, so basically that was Space for me. Is we didn't really do anything. Matt was really sick the entire time, so Matt Brassfield.
Okay.
He went with me and Damian Brunk.
Okay.
And Matt was sick the entire time, from the moment we got in the car to leave till the moment we got in the car to go home, or to get home. He was sick, and so I'm not blaming it on him, because I really am not a partier. I didn't really care. Yeah. So we just hung out in the hotel room and read comics and watched Bob's Burgers. So it was nice.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah, right. But and then on the way home, we passed through a tornado warning.
Yeah, that sounds like a party.
It scared the shit out of me. like, I was driving too, and then it was all of a sudden like the craziest rain where you can't see like more than a car length in front of you.
Yeah.
And we pulled off the side of the road and, like just kind of hid in this, parking lot of this abandoned gas station with a couple other cars that were parked there. But it was scary. Like the tornado sirens were blasting and it was windy and rainy and dark and crazy. And, our phones were all like telling us to take shelter immediately.
Right.
Cause I was like, oh great, I'm going to die.
Yeah. But that didn't happen down here.
Really?
We should have stayed in Dayton and stayed safe.
My friend Brian, John Mitchell, and his wife Chelsea were driving home.
I know who Brian John.
Yeah, they were driving and they saw the tornado.
Oh.
Like while they were, he said it was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Because they were heading like slightly different like highway than we were, but it was like they kind of were in the same area. So I kind of wished I would love to have seen it as long as it was like way in the distance. Like
Right.
I'd love to see one, but way in the distance would be great.
Because Twister is your favorite movie.
It is one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite songs, Chubby Checker. But or is I just called it Twist? I think it's just called
the
it.
Twist.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
You're thinking of his third iteration of that song.
Yeah. Let's twist again, and then
Twister.
Twister Motherfucker was the third one. It
And
was
also the board game.
a board game. I love that board game. All those colors. So yeah, that was scary. And then, but we made it home. We all lived. So
Well, that's good.
yeah. So yeah. But what else has been happening? Comic-wise.
This past weekend, as in just ended yesterday,
Yeah.
was the Gym City Comic Con,
Mm-hmm.
and we were both at that.
Because we live here.
Yeah.
It's the biggest convention in our city.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not our area though, because Cincinnati has bigger shows.
Yeah.
Columbus has bigger shows.
Sure.
But for Dayton, yeah, it's a decent sized show.
It's about the biggest show I would be comfortable at. Like I went to the one in Cincinnati in September, and there was definitely times where I was a little anxious because of the crowd size.
Well, you were also just there as a speculator,
Yeah.
or a spectator, and here you had a booth or a table to hide behind.
Sure. Yeah.
And that definitely helps in any con
It
experience.
does. Yeah. It's like a safety zone.
Yeah. Whenever I've gone to a convention where I don't have a table or don't know anybody who has a table, like I'm always like an hour and I'm done.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You at least need to like go to a panel and regroup and then come back.
Yeah. Even last year when Joe G and I went to the Cincinnati Comic Con, which is not in Cincinnati or Ohio.
Where would it be?
And
Is it even a Comic Con?
Huh?
Is it a Comic Con or is it like a car wash?
Well, right now it's not, because it's
Well,
not anything.
Well, that's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it no longer exists. But yeah, like after like 2-3 hours, I was just like, okay, I'm done. But Joe was getting sketches done, and so we had to wait around for that.
Oh, sure,
So
yeah.
we left the building for a while and went out to lunch, and then when we came back, he still wasn't done with the sketches, so we just kind of sat somewhere for an hour and a half, and that was fine. Just as long as we were away from the crowds,
Right.
Gave us a chance to breathe.
I totally get that.
Yeah. But yeah, so you were busy pulling double duty.
I was Saturday I worked at the Mavericks booth, selling Pokemon and toys and whatnot, and maybe some comics.
Yeah,
we sold the first appearance of Deadpool. That was a good one. Yeah. And then Sunday I worked at the Sparkle Comics table selling.
What store are they?
Sparkle Comics?
Yeah,
it's a comic company. There's no store. It's a company.
Okay, so it's porn.
We should call it that, company. But our third release, The Wolf Hunter, debuted at the Gym City Comic Con.
That's a movie. I've seen that movie.
It is a comic based on a movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it as good as the movie?
It's surprisingly better. I don't know how that's possible, but somehow it is.
Yeah. Well, I hear you have Matt Fraction and Terry Dotson working for you.
They
guys.
are doing Adventure Man for us this summer. It's going to be really good.
Sweet.
The first issue number 1 they did not work on, but they are doing the second number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens. Though.
Yeah, it's like the Squirrel Girl thing. Yeah, we had to change creative teams. Because the whole Hoyt Potter thing wasn't working out.
Yeah. I mean, they're both terrible anyway.
But, that was fun. And I got some drawing done, and I got some shopping done. I snuck away several times. And
see, the way I heard it was that you were allowed to go on break.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the official.
As if Matt Brassfield was your fucking manager or something.
He's my manager.
Did he at any point say, you got time to lean, you got time to clean?
No. He doesn't advocate cleaning. He says, you ain't got time to lean and you ain't got time to clean. That's his. You're either drawing or you're shopping for comics. Those are your 2 roles at Sparkle Comics. So I found like 20 comics out of like quarter and dollar boxes that I'm gonna, that are potential bewildering posts.
Nice. So I mean, you've got like 2 years worth of stuff. For
I've got closer to 5 years worth. If I had never bought another comic for the rest of my life, I could do that every month for about 5 years. Yeah.
I still haven't checked out like the last 2.
Oh yeah, I just posted one on the 1st on Saturday.
In fact, today is like the first day that I've been to just buyer beware proper.
Oh yeah,
for like 2 months.
Right. I'm basically only posting something once a month on both sites, so you're probably fine doing that.
I missed 2 posts.
Oh really?
That,
Okay.
So,
well, yeah. If anyone's out there, I think I plugged it once, and I'll plug it one last time.
all right. You plug it all you want.
Please visit my blog where I review random, weird, old independent comics by people you've never heard of, because I've never heard of them either. It's not like I know about them.
Right.
It's called The Bewildering, and it's at thebewildering.blogspot.com.
Right. I had a friend of mine was in town a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember if that was before or after the last time I recorded or not, but she was looking through boxes, and I had explained the Bewildering blog to her, and so she kept finding things, and it was like, do you think this would be good for him? I'd be like, I'd rather just let him choose. But like, she picked one that I looked at, and I was like, oh man, like it definitely looked like it, but it was sealed, so like I couldn't open it.
Sure.
But like, Jerry Ordway had done the cover.
Oh yeah.
And that's like against your rule.
Yeah.
Is,
I can't
people
know.
you've heard of,
Yeah,
right?
it has to be like so obscure, and that's unfortunate because I found a couple like that that are
Right.
like, oh man,
But like, I don't know if Jerry Ordway just did the cover,
right?
or if he did the interior, because like there are no credits, and like it just had his signature on the cover. But also, like, it was clearly like an inexperienced Jerry Ordway. Like, I mean, it was bad art.
Right.
And Jerry Ordway's great.
Yeah. Well, I found one at this very show that we were just talking about, in a dollar box, and I was so excited about this book. It was called Drastic,
Okay.
but it was Drastik,
Of course.
and it had like just a yellow cover.
Was it an acronym for anything?
No, there was no dots.
Okay.
But it was like a yellow cover with no background, and then this figure, like not even centered in the cover, and he had like a blue costume with a face mask with just the letter a capital I on it, and I was like, oh, this is ridiculous looking, and I love it. And I bought it, and I flipped through it, and it looked perfect. But when I got back to the table, I realized the cover was drawn by Gil Kane.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, how did that happen?
Right?
Because he had nothing to do with
Okay.
creating the character or drawing the book or anything. So they must have just paid him to do the cover.
Right.
And then they I'm sure he was disappointed because like they didn't even center his artwork. It's like
Right.
like there's like 3 inches at the bottom of the cover where there's just nothing, and then the artwork's all like smushed up towards the top, and it just looks weird.
Huh.
But so I was like, fuck. So I just gave it to Brassfield.
But I mean, just the cover though.
Oh no,
No.
that's
no.
no.
All right.
I've got too many of them.
Because I mean, I think almost that would be like perfectly perfect, because it's clearly some idiot who had way too much money
Right?
and was able to buy a Gil Kane commission, and then it's like, I'm gonna make a comic.
Or he just paid Gil Kane to draw something for him at a convention, and he
Right.
just went home and slapped it on the cover of his comic.
Exactly.
Which I would probably review it if I thought it was that.
Right.
But-
I think either way it works.
Right.
Because it's clearly someone who just has the gall to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was in a shortage of
Really, yeah,
candidates,
you have
but
plenty of
I've
stuff,
got
yeah.
hundreds. Yeah. So I'm like, it's cool.
Right.
Plus Brassfield was excited because he was like, that looks awesome. He was
Was there
actually,
a werewolf in it?
no, there could have been. I didn't flip through the whole thing. But yeah, so sorry. So that was my Gem City
Yeah.
experience.
Sounds like a fun time was had.
Twas. Yeah. And you were there both days?
I was. Yeah.
Mm.
So like 6 months ago, I contacted Jesse Noble, the guy who runs the thing, say, hey, I'd really like to get a table, and they were sold out already.
Nah.
6 months ago.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yep. And so I was very disappointed and upset. But my friend Bruce usually always has a table there, and like I kind of knew that he would let me share his table with him. But you know, I wanted my own.
Sure, yeah.
But Bruce, you know, he usually likes to have somebody there with him to help him watch over the table, like when he goes to the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and so even as of Thursday or Friday, I was like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna hang out and I'll be there, but like I'm not sure if I'm even gonna do anything. Like I didn't know if I wanted to bring anything to try to sell. He was like, yeah, bring something. Yeah. It was like I'm too tired to care.
Right.
It was like because he was out of town on business up until Friday night in Texas. So,
Oh, man.
yeah.
Not for his comics, but just
No, for
real
his,
jump.
his real jump.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, yeah. So I brought stuff, and so yeah, took up half his table, and we were like in the back corner of the convention.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I don't do a ton of conventions, but I do enough where it's like, you know, there can only be a certain point where you can blame the environment around you, and then you have to shift blame to the only common denominator to why you don't do well. And that's you.
Oh.
Not
Me?
you.
Me personally?
You.
Okay.
Me, yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you know, there was, like, you know, like at Heroes, I was like, well, we were in a corner where, like, there was no traffic whatsoever, like, in our area at all.
Yeah.
And then when people did, like, they would get, you know, dazzled by the cosplayers or, like, you know, like, really bad template-faced art or pillows or something.
Right.
Yeah. And you know, and so here at Gem City, like where we were, you know, positioned, the girl at the table next to me, who knows Bruce, you know, they've sort of are associated through a common person. But she was selling hand crocheted Pokemon toys.
Oh, I did see those. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Saturday, I did nothing. I made $9.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how I made $9 because everything was priced $5 or $10.
Somebody got a deal.
Yeah. But no, like I've counted, like after buying lunch and paying for parking and all that, like I wound up with $9 more than what I had come in with.
Right.
And $3 for a pop, you know, from the machine.
Right.
Yeah. Because everybody would come up and they would see crocheted Pokemon, and that was it. Like, that's all anybody bought. That's all anybody talked
Wow,
about.
so those were moving.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So Sunday, she had sold out because everybody went batshit nuts on Saturday.
Wow.
And I made close to $200 Sunday.
Wow. That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah. Bruce, however, like Saturday he did fairly well, and Sunday he did not.
Now, did you mostly sell your crocheted Pokemons, or what did you sell?
Oh yeah, like Saturday night I came home and I just
crocheted all night long.
Yeah, yeah.
But yours all had erections.
Of course.
That's true. That's true.
You gotta have my style.
You gotta have a niche. No, so you sold a lot of prints?
I sold a couple prints, all the same, the Super Fiends.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I sold quite a few pieces of original art.
That's awesome.
Like shitty ones.
Really?
Like ones that I don't know why that sold, but okay, whatever.
Did you sell any sketch covers?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Wow.
But I had brought, I don't think I've done this since the last episode. So Free Comic Book Day is coming up in about a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be appearing at Mavericks. I believe I am.
Oh, yeah. I believe you are.
Yeah.
We both believe.
Yeah. And so last year when I did it, I did a bunch of sketches before the show to just give away to anybody that wanted one, and then I was doing sketches there at the event. So my idea this year was I'm do sketch cards because they're like a third of the size of the sketches I was doing last year.
Right. So you can get more done.
I can get more done. They go by quicker. So I'm planning on having at least 100 sketch cards done before the show.
That's great.
Also, I've given myself like a month lead, whereas last year I think I started like 2 weeks before the event.
Right.
So I brought my sketch cards to work on at the show, and these are things that I am planning on giving away for free at Free Comic Book Day. And people kept seeing me draw them, and kept asking to look at them, and kept offering to buy them. And I'm not an idiot.
Right?
So I sold some.
Right. That's awesome. You weren't like, no. Sorry, these are free.
Yeah.
Take your money and go buy some Pokemon plush with it.
So I sold sketch cards and
That's
original
awesome.
prints.
That's really great, though.
Uh-huh.
$200? That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like a lot of that went away, for bills and food and stuff like that.
Right.
But still, I had a very successful Sunday. It was very encouraging.
That's great.
It also encouraged me to
not sit next to the Pokemon people next
time.
time.
Not like I had any power in that.
But next time, maybe
it was either sit next to her or sit next to a person whom I cannot stand as a human being.
Yeah. Okay.
Whose ass I kept seeing all weekend.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. Because apparently he doesn't know about proper shirt sizes or belts.
Well, glad you had a successful time.
Yeah. But then, a couple of our friends showed up here and there. Our mutual friend Jessie came by.
Oh, yeah.
She came Saturday at like 5:05.
Yeah, right? Which the convention ended at 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then she came back Sunday, and she was dressed up both days.
What was she Saturday? I remember Sunday she had like the cool eye makeup. And...
Yes. Saturday she wasn't like super dressed up, but she was wearing Totoro stockings.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like
okay.
Thigh-high,
yeah.
Sexy stockings.
All right. I like stockings. They're cool.
They are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Joji was there too.
Mm-hmm. With his thigh-high stockings on.
Of course.
But he had them under his pants like normal.
Yeah.
He always does.
He was not wearing a short skirt like Jesse was.
No.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Come on, Brassfield. Show us some games.
Brassfield? Or
Joji.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
You just want to see Brassfield's
I do.
games,
I
too.
want to see Brassfield's
I do want to see his legs. He always wears pants.
It is true.
Even in the summer.
You know what? I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
He is a pale, not attractive man.
Well, that's probably why. Because he doesn't let his... I've got shorts on right now.
Yeah, you do.
This is not even summertime.
No, it's like 50 degrees out.
It might snow Friday. Is what I heard on the news today. Seriously.
I was remembering last year at Gem City, the Saturday when we left, there was a blizzard that happened like after the show. and it was like the first weekend of April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre.
Yep. It's Ohio.
They should build a wall to get that snow
Right?
on its own
Yeah.
continent. Snowberg or wherever it's from.
Lock her up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Snow, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those snow cans over here.
Yeah. So, I didn't do much shopping because Saturday I didn't have a lot of money.
And Sunday you're too busy making money.
And Sunday I was too busy making money. But, like, I made enough that I was like, okay, I can afford to buy a thing or two. And I bought more than a thing or two.
Yeah.
Particularly, so, all day Saturday, Bruce kept talking about, look, Kyle Starks is here. I was like, I don't know who that is. He was like, oh, he's awesome. You know, like, he does stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, like, he's the biggest name here. It's like, no, he's not. Barry Kitson.
Barry Kitson, yeah, sure.
The draw. And I did not know, talk to him or anything.
Oh, man, I saw one of his sketches. It was amazing.
Oh, I'm sure he's a great artist.
And he had a little watercolor palette, and he did, like, a watercolor background.
Nice.
Like, he was awesome.
Our friend is a strong word, but our local legend pal Kyle Hotz was at the show.
Oh, yeah.
And I talked to him more than a couple times.
He is really good.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
We've reviewed his books on here, I believe. At least one of them. Billy the Kid.
Billy Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure I've bought everything that he's put out in the last 20 years, except for like his super religious-y stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've even apparently bought a ambiguously gay art portfolio that he did in the early 90s.
Nice.
But yeah, like I really enjoy his artwork, and he's a super nice guy.
Oh yeah.
But my friend Bruce was talking about Kyle Starks the entire Saturday. And so Sunday morning, he showed up. He was like, before the show really got going, he was like, I'm going to go over to Kyle Starks and get his new book. I'm like, okay. So he went away. Like 10 minutes later, he comes back and he's got this book. And it's called Rock Candy Mountain.
Oh, that's weird. That comes out this coming week from Diamond.
Yeah.
It's on our invoice.
And so apparently they had just a short conversation, because there are two versions of the cover to Rock Candy Mountain. The other is a variant to celebrate the Image Comics 25th anniversary, which the main cover has like the main character of the book, like he's a hobo, and he's like sitting in front of a fire. And so the Image 25th Anniversary edition has Bad Rock sitting in front of a fire.
That's awesome.
And the title is Bad Rock Candy Mountain.
That's amazing.
And so Bruce looked at both of them and asked Mr. Starks, which one of these should I buy? He's like, buy the regular one. Don't buy the Bad Rock one. They forced me to do that. I don't like it.
That's weird. I haven't seen any graphic novel-sized books with the Image 25th anniversary variant.
It's not a graphic novel.
Oh, it's not? Okay, I thought it was a thicker.
It is a regular old comic book.
One of them, they're floppies with staples in it?
Yep.
Well.
As they should be. And so Bruce brought the book back to the table, and I was flipping through it, and I started reading it, and I laughed out loud at least twice.
Yeah.
Particularly one particular panel in the middle of the book, which I'm not going to spoil because everybody should just go experience that for themselves.
I read it. I read that panel.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing.
Uh-huh.
Even completely out of context.
Yep.
I only read that panel.
Yep.
And I almost want to buy that book because of the one panel.
Yeah. Well, you should because the book is great.
Is it?
Yeah.
It looks good.
Rock Candy Mountain by Kyle Starks. Chris Schweitzer colored it. It's coming out this upcoming Wednesday, so it'll be last Wednesday if you're listening to this now.
What if they're listening to it later? It was months ago. What are you doing? Go out and buy it. Why have you waited so long?
The first week of April from Image Comics.
Yeah.
And so later on in the day, I was like, well, you know what? That one panel in particular sold me entirely on this book. I'm going to go buy it. And I walked by his table 4 different times throughout the day, and he was never there.
Wonder what he was doing. Was he playing the Pokemon tournament?
when he finally was at his table, because he was actually kind of like right down the aisle from where you were sitting.
Yeah, I could see his table from.
And so, like, I was like, if you see anybody sitting there, like, even if it's just his handler watching the table,
Right.
just let me know. And so, like, you texted me like 20 minutes later, like after I finally gave up, and you're like, I think somebody's there. I'm like, okay. Ran over there, and it was him. So I was like, yeah, like, well, there were people in front of me, and they were talking a lot to him. But he's also a little bit of a talker as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I came by here like 4 different times to try to like buy something from you, and you're not here. And he was like, yeah, I decided, you know, if I had a good day, I was just going to walk around and, you know, check stuff out and buy stuff. So apparently he had a good day.
That's awesome.
That's, yeah,
but,
totally. You
But
know?
bring a friend.
Right, exactly.
Have a dude.
Put up a sign.
Yeah. Yeah, because not only would you possibly make more money, but you'd possibly gain some fans, too.
Exactly.
You know?
And also, I mean, you know, anybody could have stolen anything off his table.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I know. I saw people leave their tables for a long time, and there's like hundreds of dollars worth of like nice pens and stuff just chilling there. I'm like, what are you doing?
I mean, you know, when I'm at my table and I've got like a bunch of junk out, you know, like if somebody came by and wanted to buy my trail mix, I would sell it to them.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I'm also not going to leave it unattended if I have to run to the bathroom
Right.
or whatever, you know, or try to buy a comic book 4 different times.
Yeah.
So Kyle Starks, like, you know, like I said, Bruce kept talking about him the whole time, and I was just like, I don't know who this guy is, whatever, you know. It turns out I had met him. I met him at Heroes Con last year. He sat next to Chris Schweitzer, who I did talk to last year quite a bit. They're apparently really good buddies. Chris Schweitzer colored Rock Candy Mountain.
You mean Bad Rock Candy Mountain?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's the one I'm buying.
So when I walked by his table, I saw 2 things. That was like, oh, I've heard of Kyle Starks before. One, there's a graphic novel from Image called Sex Castle that came out a few years ago.
Okay.
I have heard a lot of good things about Sex Castle.
Yeah.
There was another graphic novel that I believe he kickstarted called Kill Them All, which I'd also heard good things about. He is also the writer of the Rick and Morty monthly comic.
Oh, okay. Huh. So that's got to be some money.
Sure.
He's doing all right.
Yeah. Actually, he did tell me how much he gets paid to write Rick and Morty.
Is it more than minimum wage?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'd have to do math to figure that out. But,
all right.
I mean, sounded like a good deal to me.
Yeah.
You know, what
sure.
do I know? Because for some reason, he and I wound up talking shop for a second or two.
That's interesting.
20 minutes.
You say he likes to talk.
He does, yeah. Super nice guy. But like I said, I saw Sex Castle and Killed Them All, and I definitely wanted Rock Candy Mountain. I told him, I was like, I'm really interested in all these things. Any kind of deal you can give me?
Right.
Yeah, do a little barter. And he's like, I really can't. Because Rock Candy Mountain and Sex Castle are both from Image, and he doesn't really have much say on what he gets all those.
Right.
And Rock Candy Mountain, I get, it's $4. It's not even out yet.
Right.
Cover price.
So that's not, it's not much.
He's got to make a little money, sure.
Right.
And Kill Them All, which is his own self-published thing, he already had marked down.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is as low as I can go on that book.
Right.
And so, like, everything that I wanted to buy was like $30 total. He was like, I mean, you asked nicely, you seem like a nice dude, you're patient. It's not much, but $28? I was like, all right, it's fine.
Hey, you can buy you another soda.
Sure, yeah. Well, barely.
Yeah, well, yeah.
If I had spare change after that. So, like, he's like, all right, I'm going to draw on all these. So, like, he draws, like, little sketches on all the covers and signs them.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then he's like, Kill Them All was a Kickstarter book, so I'm going to give you all the free Kickstarter shit that I gave to everybody else. I'm like, okay. So he just starts, like, grabbing, like, flyers and stickers and temporary tattoos. And he pulls out, like, a postcard. He's like, Erica Henderson drew this one. I'm like, awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Because apparently they're best friends.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She draws Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, she does. And so, like, he's like, getting everything together, and he's like, so 28? And I was like, you know what? You just gave me a ton of free shit, so, I'm just going to give you 30.
Yeah.
And he's like, awesome, okay.
Yeah, it's $2.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like you said, you can't even buy a pop for that. So
exactly.
It's now become nothing.
Exactly. So, yeah, good experience there. And seriously, cannot recommend Rock Candy Mountain enough.
Maybe I'll check it out if we have more than like 2 copies. Some of the image books that we get, for some reason, we only get a couple number ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
yeah, it's too bad because I know he said he's hoping to make it to issue 8 at least.
Oh yeah.
He said at this point they're up to issue 5 and it's kind of iffy.
Oh, so, as far as like
sales, pre-sales, and all that.
Oh well, okay. I guess yeah. Number 2 and 3 might have been ordered already.
Yeah. But yeah, so Rock Candy Mountain. Definitely check that out.
Maybe I'll check it out. Yeah, if there's nothing else to buy. I don't think there... Oh, the Squirrel Girl t-shirt comes out this week that I ordered. So that might be what I'm buying this week. I don't know, I've got a budget.
You can say that. You have t-shirts. You're wearing one right now.
Look at this. This is like a 1980s Batman t-shirt. I clearly need
to. So you should be prideful of your youthful figure.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well... I mean, I bought this one like 5 years ago.
Well, yeah,
so
sure.
I did have one. I have this Joker shirt with Brian Bolin artwork on it, and I actually
had that same shirt in the 6th grade.
I did too, and I have a photo of me wearing it, and I want to recreate that photo now with this, and I think that'd be hilarious. But
yeah, so something not Gem City related.
Oh.
I did read another comic book other than Rock Candy Mountain.
Oh?
That it's not officially out, but I was just given a digital copy of it today because I supported the Kickstarter for it.
Oh.
And I have to say that I highly recommend it, that when it officially does become available to the normies to read.
Uh-oh. Roarg
of the Blood Swamp.
Really?
Yeah.
By Mr. P.B. Kane?
By Pat Kane, our for a long time, our only listener and frequent guest.
Yeah.
Pat Kane.
Wow. So I haven't got mine yet. I kickstarted it as well.
Did you check your email today?
No, I did not.
Okay, because it came through via email.
Oh, okay.
Saying, hey, this is available to download.
Yeah, okay.
So I did so. And I read it before you came over today.
And it's good?
It's great.
Yeah, awesome.
It's just dumb and fun and just super over the top. I mean,
that's cool.
Admittedly, it does only take like 10 minutes to read, but
right.
like it's still it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad it is. Yeah.
And then it's not entirely done. Like there's no cover to it yet. And, I'm sure there's like extra stuff in the printed edition, which we'll get eventually. But as far as just a quickie digital read, it's cannot recommend it enough.
I'll check it out. I usually, like, if I know there's a print version coming,
right.
especially one that's going to be delivered to my house for free.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, not for free, but at this point, I don't have to pay for it.
Right.
I kind of do just want to wait on the printed one.
Yeah, that's fine.
But maybe I'll check it out.
But like I'm saying, because right now only Kickstarter backers can read it.
Mm-hmm.
But when or if I'm hoping he eventually makes it available like to the masses.
Just share it, right? Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
That's great. Yeah, he's very talented.
Yeah,
very talented young man. I miss him.
I do as well. We hadn't seen him in forever anyway, and now he's gone forever on the other side of the country.
Yep.
Just like our Joe G will be soon.
Yep, they're all moving away. All of our little youngins.
Yep, our babies.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, speaking of comics,
yes.
I no longer want to read them.
Okay, that's good.
I only want to review dances from now on.
That's fine.
So we'll both try a dance.
Sure.
And we'll dance it.
Yeah.
And see what we think about it.
This sounds perfectly normal, perfectly logical. I'm behind this.
Yeah. No, okay. I changed my mind again.
You can stop doing this to me.
Well, yeah, I picked out a comic that we should read.
Okay.
And I'm so tired of you only picking these stupid independent comics when Marvel and DC still exist. And it's been a while since we've done a Marvel or DC book. So.
Yeah, I feel like it.
Yeah. So I think we should read Sugar and Spike Metahuman Investigations.
What?
Do you know what that is?
Not a fucking clue.
Okay.
What? The hell is this?
It's a DC comic. Sugar and Spike Metahuman Investigations.
I've never heard of this.
Really?
No. I know Sugar and Spike.
Uh-huh.
Like an old, like Sheldon Moldoff? Was that?
I believe so. It's like the cartoony thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is the version that appeared.
Is it a New 52 version of Sugar and Spike?
It's a Keith Giffen version of Sugar and Spike.
That's all you had to say.
Yeah, right?
Jeez.
All right.
Did he draw it?
He did not draw it.
Okay.
Someone named... Actually, it's still on my phone because I looked it up to get the exact title, which I wasn't quite... It's Bilquis Evely.
Oh, okay. I know who she is.
Okay.
She's great.
Yeah. Okay. So it's those two.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Like, seriously, was this a book that came out?
It was actually one of 3 stories in the anthology Legends of Tomorrow. Came out like a year ago.
Yeah, I knew that was happening. I thought that was with the characters that are on that show.
On the show. Yeah, I guess this was one of the stories in there, and they collected it into a graphic novel, and I bought the graphic novel.
Okay.
Or trade paperback, I guess is the word.
But, because they're not on that show.
Right? I don't know. I've never seen it.
I'd watch every week.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, I've forgotten most of it, pretty much the minute that it happened, so maybe they were on that show. I don't know.
Maybe they, guest appeared or something?
Could have happened.
If one person would know, it would be our friend Joe. We should ask him.
We should ask him. Yeah. All right. Sugar and Spike Metahuman Investigations.
Yeah.
Keith Giffen. Bilquis Evely.
Whoever knows how to say that. Yeah.
We'll maybe figure that out by next time.
Yeah, probably not. Sweet.
Cool. All right.
And I have a copy.
All right.
So
awesome.
I can loan it around.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's going to be necessary.
Yeah.
'Cause I do not.
Awesome. I'm glad you didn't know it existed. That's exciting.
All right.
So.
Cool.
Well, tune in next time then.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All righty.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.